What's good, y'all? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going back to the worst disasters in histories by Echo. And yeah, I just love reacting to these type of videos. And I think I've reacted to this YouTube channel before and they make great videos. So yeah, without further ado, let's get straight to the video. But actually, before we do, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And yeah, let's get it. Let's get it.
The driver looked ahead into the pitch black. Suddenly, instead of the clear lines of the railroad bridge, he saw an abyss. The operator immediately hit the
How does that happen, though? Okay, I don't
emergency
know.
brake, hoping to stop the train. But the inertia of the multi-ton machine was unstoppable. The 1953 New Zealand railway tragedy was the worst of the 20th century, and also the most unexpected because one of its causes was a volcano. So how exactly did it cause the deaths of 151 people? And what exactly caused other major railroad disasters? One thing before we begin.
Wait, was that? Wait, I'm sorry. That's got me hooked up. Was this was real? Someone?
And also...
Oh, that could have been a miniature, maybe. I don't know. Someone threw a fucking train off of a bridge? That's crazy.
One thing before we begin. Viewer discretion.
Viewer discretion.
December 24th, 1953. The train station in Wanganui, New Zealand, on a festive Christmas Eve. Passengers gathered on the platform waiting to board the Night Express train to Wellington. Many were in a hurry to celebrate Christmas with their families,
How long would that
others
take
were
you?
returning home
Gosh,
after a long week at work. The train, KA 949 on the platform, consisted of 11 cars, first and second class passenger cars, a mail car, and a security car. In the cab of the locomotive, experienced driver Charles Parker, after checking all the systems, prepared for departure. The train, with 285 people, departed on schedule at 3 p.m., accelerating to 80 kilometers per hour. This was very fast by the standards at the time. It had to travel more than 200 kilometers through the picturesque landscapes of the
that's crazy. How fast can a normal train go nowadays? Right? I'm not talking about not the Chinese fucking bullet trains, but like just regular like trains. You know what I'm saying?
To reach its final stop at 3 p.m. the next day. Although the terrain included volcanic areas, there was no sign of danger. So passengers relaxed and leaned against the windows, watching the scenery. 18-year-old Ted Brett and his 12-year-old brother.
All I can think of how this happened is a volcano someone erupted and a rock came down and it hit the bridge and it like collapsed it. That's the only explanation I have.
John Douglas were supposed to be in first class, but a mix-up put them in second. The same happened to 15-year-old John Mahi and his 17-year-old sister. However, unlike the others, at one of the stops, they managed to take the comfortable first-class seats assigned to them at the end of the train. The fact that the brother and sister insisted on their rightful seats would later save their lives. They were not the only teenagers traveling alone on the train that day. Joan Karam and her sister, Madeline, were also in second class. In the car, they met a woman named Anne. Anne struck up a girlish conversation. Everyone was talking about a remarkable event for New Zealand. Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip had visited as part of their Commonwealth Realms tour. During these conversations, the passengers didn't even notice that something had gone wrong outside the train, except for the driver. As Charles Parker approached the bridge over the Wanganui River in Tang Wai, he saw a passerby standing on the tracks waving a flashlight as if to warn him of something. It was Cyril Ellis, and at that moment, only he knew that all those people were about to perish because of a volcano.
All of them died, though.
One of New Zealand's most active volcanoes, Ruapehu, was near the railroad track on which the express was traveling. It wasn't erupting that night, but that didn't make it any less dangerous. In fact, its crater lake is filled with hot water. On that day, the natural dam holding back this water suddenly burst. As a result, an enormous amount of boiling water, about 18 billion liters, was released, forming a powerful mudflow known as a
18 billion liters? Okay. I feel like
it roared down the slopes of Ruapehu with incredible speed, carrying with it volcanic ash, rock debris, and trees. The impact of the mudflow damaged the bridge pylons that the train was approaching. So Cyril waved his flashlight, not only to warn, but to somehow illuminate the broken rails for the driver in pitch darkness. Charles Parker saw...
I'm assuming the water was like coming down so hard that like it got some rocks with it, you know, and it just, the rocks hit the fucking, the train.
At the last moment,
the bridge,
immediately slammed the brakes. Still, it was too late.
Because I don't know if water itself could go that fast to crumble. Maybe it could, actually. Especially back in the day. It probably could do that. Anyway.
John Mahi and his sister felt the train sway slightly to the side. And then it stopped. The conductor told them there had been an accident and they should wait. The children looked out the window, where a flashing spotlight illuminated the river, and John was horrified to see cars and people screaming and drowning in the water. The passengers ran to the windows. They were shocked by what they saw. As it turned out, the 5 cars at the very end of the train, namely the first class, the security, and the mail, were lucky enough to stay on the bridge. The locomotive and the other 5 cars fell into the water, and the 6th car teetered on the edge of the broken tracks. That's why the passengers in the last cars didn't even realize anything had gone wrong.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Ted, who remained in the second car, couldn't escape this.
I mean, here's the thing though. If this happened today, would everyone in this train be cooked? Because it's going faster, right? So would everyone just be fucking cooked? Probably, though granted our brakes better now, so maybe it would have the same effect because it goes faster, but our brakes are stronger. You know what I'm saying? So maybe it would just, the result would be the same. I don't know.
At the moment of the accident, he felt the train shaking and tipping over. So he immediately rushed to wake his brother. But before they could do anything, the car had already plunged into the icy water.
Oh my.
Ted broke the window and got out while the car was actually falling apart and sinking. He was good at climbing, so he quickly made his way through the wreckage and then swam through the strong currents to shore. Later he would say, "I didn't even know the damn river's name. I didn't know where I was. Almost didn't know who I was." In the sinking third car.
If this was me, because I can't swim. Like if I'm under the water, I can't swim up. I can't float. I've said this before. I can't swim. So if that happened to me, I guess I would try, but like it wouldn't matter. I don't think, because I would just drown. Ah, shit, scary. Okay.
Joan Karam grabbed the luggage rack to keep from going under. At first, she thought the train had drifted out to sea until she realized the water was not salty. Joan screamed and called for her sister Madeline, but no one answered. The girl felt someone's hand under the water. She grabbed it tightly and pulled it up. And then Anne emerged from the water. The girls were covered with objects from the car and dead bodies floating chaotically in the water.
God.
It was a very creepy picture.
Yeah.
Joan swam up through the broken window and helped Anne out. They sat on the car's walls and began to look around. The girls saw many lanterns on the shore and realized there was a chance, however slim, that they might be rescued if they didn't succumb to hypothermia before they reached them.
Damn, that cold?
Army units, medics, police, volunteers, and bulldozers gathered at the scene and worked. The darkness and silt made the work much more difficult, but the river began to subside, revealing the bodies and wreckage. The next day, Ted returned to the crash site in search of his loved ones. The air was filled with the pungent smell of sulfur carried by the river from the volcano. And in the light of day, he saw a horrific
is that the
picture.
real photo? Look at that. Oh my gosh, that's crazy, dude. Was this the side the train was on or this side? Probably this side the train was on. But if it teetered, if one of the... Is this a straight and this isn't? I don't know. I don't know which side it was.
A major disaster. Huge boulders, an 80-ton concrete bridge pier torn out of the ground. The wreckage of railroad cars, people dead and on the verge of death. One woman, up to her neck in mud, was begging for a quick...
Wait, I'm not gonna lie, that's a hard photo.
Dead
Look at this.
and on the verge of death. One woman...
That's kind of tough, I'm not gonna lie.
Up to her neck in mud.
I mean, oriflamming a fucking, tragedy is kind of insane, but that's still
was begging for a quick death when rescuers found her. Many of them received medals for bravery from the Queen. Cyril Ellis among them as well. Thanks to him waving a torch and warning the driver that the bridge was about to collapse, 104 people in the rear cars survived.
Oh, wow. Okay, he did help them.
151 people lost their lives. Among them were Ted's
Because the dude wouldn't have saw it. Like, if he was going 50 miles per hour and it was that dark, it would have been too late. He couldn't have seen it.
The board's investigation found that the tragedy was caused by a natural phenomenon that the railroad's infrastructure couldn't withstand. But was that the only reason? The investigation revealed that the design of the bridge didn't consider the possibility of such a powerful natural disaster, although perhaps it should have. After the tragedy, the bridge was indeed improved. It was raised another 2 meters, and an advanced early warning system was installed. It includes a radar that measures the river level and automatically notifies dispatchers if the water level rises dangerously. If a threat is detected, hazard signals block train traffic across the bridge. But is this system an absolute guarantee of safety? September 22nd.
Well, I guess no, if they just fucking ignore the fucking shit, But they also said the train tracks move. That's what I got from that, so kinda, I guess.
1993, Alabama, USA, at 2 a.m. Amtrak Sunset Limited's passenger train
Damn, bro,
began
this
its
is-
next journey,
These are just train disasters. That's okay.
connecting Los Angeles and Miami. The train had 3 locomotives and 7 cars, carrying 220 people, including 11-year-old Andrea Chansey, a girl with cerebral palsy who used a wheelchair. In the same car with her were her foster parents and businessman, Ken Ivory. The train had to cross a narrow railroad bridge over the Big Bayou Canot River. But as it approached, at 2:45 a.m., a tugboat pulling barges across the same river suddenly found itself in a place not intended for navigation.
Dude, look at that! Oh, that's worse. That body. Oh, that's so scary. Oh my god. Hell no!
Happened because of a navigational error. One of the barges crashed into the central support of the bridge so hard that its spans were shifted by about 1 meter. The safety sensors I told you about, the only thing that could have prevented the tragedy, also failed. That's why the traffic light that controlled the train traffic was green. The train driver, who was traveling at 116 kilometers per hour, had no reason to suspect danger. He simply would not have had time to
so
react.
everyone died in this problem, I'm not gonna lie. Everyone probably pretty much died.
So, when the first locomotive reached the damaged bridge, the rails came down under it, and spans collapsed. The train and all the cars fell into the water. The driver passed away instantly, even before he could hit the emergency brakes. After the crash, the passengers found themselves in darkness, panic, and chaos. The broken cars
Dog, that'd
quickly
be
filled
so
with water.
horrifying.
Little Andrea had the hardest time. She quickly found herself underwater and couldn't save herself.
Oh, that's so scary.
Suddenly, someone pushed her up, and she managed to get some air into her lungs. Most likely, it was one of her foster parents who
If she lives, that would be insane.
unfortunately drowned. Yet, at the last moment before their end, pushed the girl out of the flooded part of the car.
Oh my gosh, they saved
Ivory
her.
picked her up and dragged her outside.
Oh my god.
In addition to the girl's parents,
Look at
47
that! Oh, I might not go on a train ever. I'm gonna be honest, I might never go on a train. Never.
people perished in the tragedy.
To be honest, I've never really been on a train. I've only been on a train once when I was like 4 years old, and I don't even really remember it. So,
While 103 people were injured but survived. It's clear that the main cause was the error of the tugboat captain. But if the warning system had been more reliable,
He would
the
stop.
largest rail disaster in Alabama history could have been prevented. It would seem that we should have learned from the mistakes of other engineers long ago and reconsidered the reliability of all bridges over which railroad tracks are laid. But in the 21st century, such tragic incidents haven't yet come to an end. June 22nd, 2001,
Oh, God.
India. The passenger train was traveling from the city of Mangalore to Chennai. A man named Girish was also traveling in it. He had the upper seat, yet due to a knee injury, he asked a stranger sitting on the lower shelf to switch seats with him, which later saved his life. The train was crossing an old bridge over the Kudalandi River, which was over 140 years old.
Damn!
Suddenly, one of its supports failed, and the train cars went off the tracks.
Yo, I'm sorry, bro. Like, there's something on it, like, honestly, kind of deeply disturbing about like, just seeing a train destroyed like this. It's just weird. It's just so unnatural. Obviously, it's unnatural, but like, it's just so uncanny to see this. It's like, damn. Because it's like, how are you surviving this shit? When a train falls from that fucking high,
Suddenly, one of its supports
and in the water? Yeah, fuck no, dude. I guess that's actually not that high. It doesn't look that high. But it's in the water, bro. You got me
failed,
fucked up.
and the train cars went off the tracks, 3 of which fell
that's-
into the water. During the accident, the roof of the train broke so badly that the stranger with whom Girish had exchanged seats couldn't be saved. Since then, Girish has suffered
Yeah,
from guilt
crushed.
and believes that he is to blame for his death. Besides him, 300 people survived, and 59 lost their lives.
Okay.
Investigations revealed that the bridge had been weakened by the heavy rains that had hit India the day before. However, such problems with bridges were ignored in the days when such structures were just being developed. In 1871, construction began on the bridge over the River Tay in
That's a fat fucking bridge. God
Scotland,
damn. That's
designed by engineer Thomas Bouch. It was an ambitious project that would become the pride of Great Britain. According to
Okay.
Bouch's plan, the bridge would be elegant and modern, combining cast iron columns with steel supports that promised reliability and durability. Non-standard engineering solutions were required to ensure the passage of ships
Look at that
under the
shit.
bridge. The design appeared to be an innovative response to technical challenges, though the design didn't take into account climate conditions, including high winds.
Ah.
On December 28, 1879, a severe storm swept through Great Britain. It was rated as the maximum 12 points on the Beaufort scale. The wind was blowing almost at right angles to the Tay Bridge. At that moment, a passenger train was crossing it from Burtonsland to Dundee, carrying about 75 people. The terrible whistling of the wind and the shaking of the carriages frightened the passengers. Conductors walked between the rows, reassuring people that everything was under control. However, the wind had already reached speeds of more than 130 kilometers per hour, shaking the bridge to its maximum.
81 miles per hour. I don't think I've ever felt wind that strong in my life. Like there's a place in Oregon called Crown Point, right? That's probably the most wind I've ever experienced in my life, and that's pretty extreme, but I don't think it blows to 81 damn miles per hour. I don't think.
To reduce the panic, the driver slowed the train down.
It's windy up there,
but
dude.
realized that too much speed could lead to disaster, and too slow speed would make the train more vulnerable to wind gusts. As the train reached the center of the bridge, a strong blast tore down one of its longest spans, measuring 74 meters long. In an instant...
Well, it's a concept art of the... But no way they survived, bro. No one survived this shit, dog.
It collapsed into the river.
Because that's like not an ocean, but like that is the most like broad body of water we've seen today.
With the cars. A terrible roar resounded in the darkness. And then everything was the same as in the previous stories. Screams, chaos, icy water, flooded cars, death, many deaths. The bodies of numerous passengers remained trapped in the sunken cars, and those who swam out couldn't be rescued because of the intense storm. According to official reports, no one survived. The Tay Bridge disaster became one of the biggest rail disasters in British history. An investigation found that the main cause of the tragedy was a series of miscalculations by Bouch in the choice of materials and design solutions. The bridge's columns weren't anchored securely enough, reducing the structure's ability to withstand vibrations and loads. The cast iron used to make
so ask me that was the dude that made the bridge at that time, was he still alive when this happened? Because if so, would he get charged for 75 people dying? I would assume he would, because he was in charge of making sure that bridge would never fall, right? So, well, I don't know the logistics of that, right? Like, I don't know.
Supporting elements lacked the necessary strength and was prone to cracking. The chief engineer defended himself by claiming that many decisions were made under pressure from the railroad to cut costs.
He was alive, I think.
And speed construction. In 1880, 2 years after the disaster, he passed away.
Okay. So, he didn't get, like, prosecuted for it. He just got let off the hook, I guess. I don't know the logistics of, like...
There's a reason that the last thing I talked about was the very first major disaster on a railroad bridge. Interestingly, safety standards were adjusted after that tragedy, as they were in every story I've mentioned. Yet incidents like these, unfortunately, still happen. What do you think is the safest way to travel? Let me know in the comments.
So I didn't know that video was going to be about trains, but that was great. That was kind of made me scared to go on a train, not gonna lie, bro. And I really like this channel. Like I've said, I reacted to some of their stuff before, and I definitely will react to more of their stuff in the future. So, like, what other videos do they have right here? 5 influencers who film their own death. Jesus Christ. That might be an entertaining video right there, actually. Ooh, 7 levels of amusement park disasters. That's a fire video. And if y'all don't know me either, actually, I don't know if I've said this in the video. I don't like amusement parks. I don't like going on rides. Something about it, I just don't like it. I don't like amusement parks, so that would be a good video to watch. And it's just to see like the malfunctions of some of these park disasters too, and the rides and stuff. Wait, this guy has bangers. Anyway though, y'all, that's today's video, and like I said before, man, that just made me scared. I don't want to be on trains. I don't want to go on a train ever again after that. I'm gonna be honest, no. Anyway though, y'all, if you liked today's video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff you want to do. Have a good day. Love y'all, and peace.
Every time I call you, babe, you never fucking answer, and I just won't leave a voicemail, cause I'm just so